You know, when people see me now at 94, sitting in Omaha, talking about billions and Berkshire and all of that, they think it was always like this. They imagine some secret door I walk through that other people do not have access to. But let me tell you a simple, slightly uncomfortable truth. When I started my partnership in 1956, I put in $100 of my own money, not 100,000, 100. I had been reading financial statements since I was a kid. I had studied under Ben Graham. I was obsessed with the game, and I was still basically starting from zero. So if you are sitting there thinking, my little savings do not matter, you are exactly where I started. The difference is, I understood one thing most people never really grasp. Your first $100,000 is not just a number. It is a different universe. It is the hardest, ugliest, most psychologically brutal money you will ever make. And if you do not understand why, you will quit long before you ever get there. Most people think about money like it is a straight line. You save 1,000, then another 1,000, and another, and on and on. Same push, same result. But wealth does not work in a straight line. Wealth works like a curve. I like to think of it as a snowball. You start with a tiny ball of snow at the top of a long hill. At first, that snowball barely grows. You push, and it looks almost the same size. It is discouraging. You wonder if the hill is even long enough, or if the snow is too dry, or if you are just not very good at rolling snowballs. But if you keep rolling it, slowly at first, then a bit faster, eventually that ball gets big enough that it starts picking up snow on its own. It starts growing without you pushing nearly as hard. Your job changes from shoving with both hands to just guiding it. That moment, where the snowball stops needing your constant, desperate effort and starts working on its own, happens at around $100,000. That is the point at which compounding stops being an idea and starts being a force. Let me make it concrete. Say you save $10,000 a year and you earn 10%, which is roughly what the stock market has done over the long term. It takes you several years of sacrifice to hit that first 100,000. In those years, every extra 100 you save feels painful. You say no to dinners, trips, upgrades, celebrations, because you are feeding this invisible thing called your future. You finally get to 100,000. Now watch what happens. At 10%, that 100,000 throws off 10,000 a year in growth without you lifting a finger. Your money has just done, in 1 year, the same work you used to do with sweat and discipline. When you get to 200,000, it is 20,000 a year. At 500,000, it is 50,000 a year. That is more than many people earn from a job. The point is not the exact numbers. The point is that until you hit that 100,000 mark, almost all of the progress is coming from you. After that, a meaningful share of the progress is coming from the machine you have built. Now, why is it so hard to get there? Because the early returns feel like an insult. When you have 10,000 saved and you earn 10%, that is $1,000. You can spend that in a weekend without thinking. It does not change your life. It does not change your stress. It does not buy you freedom. When you are living on a tight budget and you are skipping what everyone else is enjoying, it is very easy to look at that 1,000 and think, this is pointless. I am miserable now so that I can be slightly less miserable later. What is the point of that? So people tap the account. They say, I will just take out a bit. I deserve a break. I call this the reset trap. You climb to 20,000, then you drop to 10. You climb to 30, then a big expense knocks you back to 15. You keep climbing the same stretch of the hill again and again, and you never get high enough up the slope for gravity to start helping you. And the cruel part is, you can spend decades doing this and feel like you have been saving your whole life. You were. You just never stayed saved long enough to cross the real threshold. Let me give you a simple picture. Imagine two friends, both making the same salary. One lives normal, decent apartment, car payment, eating out, trips here and there. He is not reckless, just doing what everyone else does. He manages to save a little here and there, but there is always something. A wedding, a repair, a holiday. At 35, he has maybe 20 or 30,000 put away. The other one decides for a decade to live like his future matters more than his image. Tiny apartment, old car, packed lunches, weekends at home reading or learning instead of going out. People think he is weird, cheap, or obsessed. At 35, he has 100,000 or more invested. From that point forward, the second man's money is doing a big chunk of the heavy lifting. The first man still has to do almost all of it himself. They can both get serious at 40, but the one who got his first 100,000 early will always be years, and often millions, ahead. Here is a way to think of each dollar you save. That dollar is a worker. If you invest it well and leave it alone, it will work 24 hours a day for the rest of your life and never ask for a vacation. When you spend it, that worker leaves and never comes back. At 10% over 30 years, every single dollar you keep becomes about $17. So when you look at 10,000 in your account and think, I could take this and buy that car, that trip, that kitchen, what you are really saying is, I am willing to give up 170,000 my future workers would have produced. Sometimes that is necessary. Emergencies are real. Life happens. But you must be brutally honest about whether you are dealing with an emergency or just impatience dressed up as self-care or I deserve it. I have spent my life talking about inner and outer scorecards. The outer scorecard is what other people see. The car, the house, the trips, the clothes. The inner scorecard is what you know to be true about your situation when you are alone in a room. When you are building that first 100,000, you have to live almost entirely by your inner scorecard. To the outside world, you may look behind. Your car is older, your apartment is smaller, your weekends are quieter. But inside that invisible account, something powerful is forming. A base, a snowball, a small but growing machine. And one day, the gap will flip. The people who always looked like they were ahead will still be working for money. You will have money working for you. That is not magic. That is math plus patience. I am not asking you to become a monk or to never enjoy your life. I eat at McDonald's for breakfast almost every day. I drink too much Coca-Cola. I still live in the same house I bought in 1958. None of those are sacrifices to me because I enjoy them. What I am telling you is that you cannot have everything at once. You can either have the feeling of being caught up with everyone now, or you can have the reality of being free later. You cannot usually have both. Your first 100,000 is the down payment on freedom. Not retirement, not yachts, not private planes. Freedom. The freedom to say no, to walk away, to wait for a better opportunity, to take a risk because you are not terrified of missing one paycheck. So here is what I want you to do when this ends. Do not just nod and move on. Figure out exactly where you are. 10,000, 5,000, 0, negative. Be honest. Then decide what you can commit to saving and investing every single month, not when it is convenient, not when you feel like it, but as a rule. Treat it like a bill you must pay to your future self. Then, I want you to make it public in one small way. Write it down somewhere you will see every day. If you are brave, put it in the comments under this video. I have X saved. I will hit 100,000 by year Y. Make a deal with yourself that you will come back when you hit it and write, I did it. Because the day you cross that line, you will feel something shift. The hill will not be as steep. The snowball will not feel as heavy. And for the first time, you will see with your own eyes that this is not some theory rich people talk about to sound wise. It is a simple mechanism that works, slowly, for anyone who respects it. If an old fellow in Omaha who started with $100 reads annual reports for fun, eats McDonald's and drinks Coke all day can figure this out, I am confident you can too. Your first 100,000 is the hardest. It is supposed to be. But once you get there, you will never look at money the same way again. That is all.